Okay, so Savannah Guthrie is a extremely famous person here in America. Everyone knows her, at least her face. You may not know her name, but you know her face because she's one of the most famous news anchors on television. Uh, and has been for since at least my childhood. The idea that someone would kidnap her is a turning point for our society into it going even more downhill. If you haven't been noticing, societal rule, societal structure has been collapsing more and more as time goes on. I'm not too sure about the exact point this turned this direction, but this definitely is a point of acceleration. The idea that someone would kidnap this person for either the only reason being money or for some other motivation shows that the ability to make these decisions is now available for more deranged people. Usually, if you're going to do something like this, you'd target someone for a motive, is literally a person who is famous for reading a teleprompter and having emotions, expressive emotions on television. That's what makes someone a good news anchor. The idea that they're actually like journalists or anything like that at this point in time, maybe it was that way in the old days. If you want to debate it, you can in the comments, but the idea of that today just seems crazy to me. Most news anchors are literally just reading a teleprompter and they do nothing else. So why would they choose Savannah Guthrie? There's really no good explanation for it. This shows that you're no longer having those societal rules of what you wouldn't want to do. If there was like a political reason and it was a political person, that would make a little bit more sense because people have more of a drive to prove a point. But in this case, we literally so far, because this is like day 4 or 5 or something like that, have no information on why this happened, and their ransom notes they aren't telling the public, which is probably smart of what they say, and they don't even really confirm or deny if there's ransom money up on the line, but they know that they've told us that there's deadlines, and they've told us or shown us the videos of the family basically begging for this woman back. So we have no idea what's going on, but the fact that this is even going on is what I'm talking about. You have to be ready for things like this to get worse, this to become more of a problem. Right now, it's Savannah Guthrie. Soon, it will be just anyone that has any sort of maybe popularity or position anywhere. And I looked up craziest kidnappings in the US. Okay, let's just go with this information. Only like one of these is someone related to a famous aviator, which happened in 1932. Besides this doesn't really happen often. And even then, there were like social rules to this. Airplane hijackings were a lot more common than people think before 9/11. But even then, people were almost okay with it because they expected the people who hijacked the planes to have some sort of sense of societal rule. They knew that the plane was going to land and they weren't going to hurt anybody. They knew that all the people wanted was money. It wasn't like some like crazy game to them. And more now, we see these types of situations, whether it's a shooting or whatever type of shooting it is, where people have no motive. They just want to create chaos. And to me, this situation looks like one of those. And sure, you could say it's because mental illness is on the rise. I would say that proves my original point more, that society is collapsing on some sort of level. So it's crazy that we've gotten to the point where literally someone we've seen every day is in this situation. And at this point, like, what have you known from her for the past year or like 2 years? She literally hosted a presidential debate, or she didn't host it, okay? It wasn't even her, but she was the one asking the questions. Hers were obviously charged like anti-Trump. Maybe that has something to do with it. But even then, it's definitely not enough to like prove any sort of major point or anything like that. We're going to see how this plays out, but I would just say to take a look at the situation as a warning sign of what's to come. Things are going to accelerate. Things are going to become crazier. You're going to see more things that don't make sense. And that is the whole point. They don't make sense. And because of that, it's not even damaging to the structure of what's left. It's already gone. There's only people who are role playing it because they want to believe that it still exists, and people who are taking advantage of it, and then people outside of that who are just either for the love of the game causing chaos or just operating with no bounds whatsoever. And that may be at play here, like I said, but you have to realize that when you are going about your decisions, you may just be like coping with the fact that you think the society that once was is still here. No, that's no longer at play. By pretending that it is, you're waiting and letting yourself become a potential victim of something like this. Does that mean you should do anything immoral about it? No, you should be trying to regrow the structure in the proper way. Obviously, something went wrong that caused it to be bad or corrupted. We have to take an additional step above that and do the right thing and then some. Like, we have to correct the right thing into being an even better right thing. And what that looks like is we don't know for sure yet. Basically, we're still working on figuring out the answer to that. And maybe you think you can get somewhat of an answer from my channel. Maybe you have an answer of yourself and we can talk about it. But it definitely wasn't or isn't what was, and it definitely will not be the same going forward, because that's how we got here. Something went wrong. And honestly, we may even just find out that the mom, may have, sometimes older people, they just forget or they don't know what's going on, and then they just walk outside and they forget where they are, and then they never show up again. It's like an old pet, honestly. Like, that's what happens with people with dementia or Alzheimer's. It does happen. So we'll see. I mean, Tucson, Arizona, that's a lot of desert. But here's another point I wanted to bring up. What does this say about our system when it's 4 or 5 days in and we're told that this is apparently the best? We have the best agencies. We have the best criminal networks. We have all these TV shows showing how easy it is for them to find, capture criminals or get through kidnappings, or ransom situations or anything like this. And they have no idea, or at least they're not telling us that they basically, from what we know, they have no idea what's going on. They have no clue, no answer. They have not solved it, at least we know that. And the fact that they haven't solved it proves my point even more. A lot of this power that we think is going on is people trying to withhold the system just to keep you in it. It's really just strong propaganda encouraging you to behave for something that doesn't exist. So let me know what you think. Pretty crazy situation.